Hi Tarot Lovelies, it's Ethany and it's First Impressions Friday on my channel, and you know what that means. We are going to discover a new deck together. And today I have got a copy of the Rosetta Tarot and I have the Papyrus edition. So look at that beautiful box with the unk on the front there, or the ankh, depending on how you pronounce it. So this is the Papyrus edition. Now, I got this deck at Reader's Studio in 2019, and I'm just getting around to unboxing it on my channel. I got received, I'm a huge stationery nut, so anytime someone gives me something a little bit special and shiny, I'm a little bit, this is like it's got that pearlescent, you can't see it, but it's pretty thing, shine to it. So I also got a little card with the backs, and this is the business card of the wonderful M.M. Meline. Now, I did back the Rosetta Tarot on Kickstarter. The color, there was the Tabulous Monday, I think it's the Tabulous Monday Tarot. Is that right? I think I'm getting that right. Yeah, Tabula Monday. And I also have the Rosetta Tarot. I have all of them on Kickstarter, the color version. And this is the Rosetta Tarot we have here in the Papyrus edition. So it hasn't been opened. Everything is still in the box. So I'm going to, as always, change over the cameras and we're going to discover the deck together. So let's go do this thing. Okay, so now we're going to explore the Rosetta Tarot, and as I mentioned before, there is the ATU House Publishing card, the Egyptian scrying, what is it called? I can't even think of it. Darn it, and I've actually got some of that jewelry in my room. I'm having a moment, forgive me, internets. And that's the sheen on that. Isn't that pretty? With the rose there. It's quite gorgeous. Okay, so we have the beautiful box with a lovely, look at that. Ooh, it's so pretty. Navy blue stunner of a silk ribbon. Just gonna pop that over there. So it comes with the deck number, the edition, and it's signed. Then we have another one of these. It's really going to irk me now. And then we have different phonetic sounds of the Egyptian hieroglyphics, which is very cool. Just pop that over there. Now I need to open this up. I'm just going to do that with some scissors because it is shrink wrapped and I don't want to damage the deck. Okay. So we have the beautiful back design, which is reversible. The deck is a standard tarot size deck, and it is, did I say 350 GSM? It's just my hunch. But I handle a lot of cards. I handle a lot of decks, you know. If I had a Kiwi accent, that would have sounded very different. It has no gilding on the sides. Yes, I'm a very silly person. Okay, so the Fool. Oh, interesting. Oh my gosh. It's all in. That's going to be, so I didn't notice this before, but we have the actual hieroglyphs down the bottom. So we're looking for the V, long and short, short E, L. Oh, okay. Oh, so there's an F, the Fool, right? So, oh my stars. Thank goodness it's got the Roman numeral at the top. And obviously, like, that has a very full energy. This is going to hurt my brain holes. I have not had enough sleep for this. The Magician. so friggin' beautiful. So this is very, if you can't half tell from the Egyptian connection and the iconography and the images, this is very Thoth based. The High Priestess. Now I have a number of Thoth decks. Some of them are my favorites. Not the original, but like offshoots. But I'm not an expert on the Thoth system. I read a lot about it, but I always default back to the Rider-Waite-Smith because it was the first one that I learnt and I got taught and I started reading with. And I feel like it's a little akin to, it's the Empress, a little akin to being able to speak more than one language. There are similarities, but you know, some of the cards are changed, like Lust and Art. And I'm going to get that wrong here. I apologize. I'm probably going to get it wrong because there is no titles. So again, apologies, because I'm pretty sure like the magician is called the Magus. There's some stuff that I don't know off the top of my head because again, it's like I'd have it, you know, when you're like in the middle of something, you have to switch gears. For me, it's like a full-on gear switch and I'm not completely fluent in it. I have a feeling that that's the same as if you learnt the Thoth system first, it would feel that way as well. Like you would know that is your default. Same with the Marseille. If you'd learnt the Marseille first, you probably have that in you as well. And there's no right or wrong. It's just what you've known and what you gravitate towards more. So we have the Emperor. The Hierophant or High Priest. That's such a cool freaking image. So the Lovers. What is that called here? I'm looking at I think it's still the Lovers. No, maybe not. Yeah, Lovers, okay. The Chariot. The artwork is so beautiful. It's very, very vibrant and bold. Justice. So Justice in the Thoth system is number 8. Hopefully it's picking up on my camera. I actually really like the Papyrus outline, Hermit. And I love that it's very angled like the original Thoth is. It's one of the reasons why I'm maybe not the most gravitated towards it, because I feel it's very angular, it's very harsh. That's just my thing. The Wheel, but this is so stunning, and I do like the fact that we have a very different system of it being identified, but the artwork is so gorgeous. So Lust instead of Strength, or Strength if you wanted to interchange it, which I often do. The Hanged Man. Oh, that's cool with those. We've got a heart up in the tree and then those roots. Really beautiful work. This is a gorgeous death card. So pretty. And like I mentioned before, I did get this deck at the Reader's Studio, and I have seen some of these prints up front, close and personal. Alchemy, the Temperance card art, and they're beautiful. She's just done such an amazing job. Like I said, I have the Rosetta Tarot in a different edition, and I have the Tabula Mundi as well, the coloured one with the holographic backs, and I backed that on Kickstarter. The Devil, the Tower, and yeah, very talented individual. I'm always in awe of people whose artwork is just like, I mean, I do some artwork, but this is like a lifetime's worth of skill. I'm definitely not that way inclined. The Moon. I also feel like, just looking at these as I flip through them, the Sun, is that there's going to be an opportunity to really look very deep into this. So the Phoenix, Judgment. So you've got Newt in the background there, the goddess. There's a lot in here. Hopefully there is I have the Rosetta Tarot guidebook anyway. I know I do. I actually do have it on my bookshelf. So that's going to help for me to have a look through this when I'm working with this, the world. Because I have a feeling like, I mean, I know what, you know, the symbols around the eagle, and which I didn't know from reading, what brilliant book was I reading, that it's David, Matthew, John, and one of the others. Anyway, there's a Bible reference there for those four. Okay, so we have the clubs or the wands in those four that show up in the world and also in the Wheel of Fortune. 2. And as you can see, we have very, very Thoth-based imagery. It's very beautiful. There's a lot of importance in the symbols, in the positioning of each of the images, and also the color. So when you go to read everything, that's very important. And I think that's probably why for me I kind of gravitate towards the Rider-Waite-Smith, is because it's very body languaged. It's very I can insert myself in there as an empathic person and someone who's been empathic their whole life. I can like put myself into the position of the Five of Cups and feel that grief. You know, having lived the human experience for 36 years, I know what that, you know, what that can feel like, that grief. So whereas with this, because it is very, I guess, more ceremonial, it's more cerebral, not that I'm unintelligent, it's for me, I find connecting with that in an empathic way, and I use all of my clairs and my readings a little bit difficult, and I gotta say that's probably my personal barrier, but this is stunning. This is something that I would use for ritual work. This is something that I would use for study. This is a really gorgeous deck in that regards. Something else that I've mentioned a few times, if you just listen to me ramble while I show you these gorgeous pieces of art, is that it's always really fun to extend the way that you know something. Like I would have to say, after picking up my first deck over 20 years ago, I know the cards pretty well, but I love always extending my knowledge and my aptitude for something. So learning a new system or studying something different or picking a card from a different system and reading about it can actually add an awful lot to your already existing toolkit. Yeah, so I have a number of Thoth-based books, a number of Thoth-based decks, and some of them, like I said, are my favorite. This is very traditionally Thothian, sacred geometry in there. And they have the keywords, so I think, you know, like deceit, defeat, they actually have keywords, and that'll be on the bottom here. So you have the fact that this is the 8 of water up the top, and then it would be the keyword of the 8 of water, which I can't remember. Let's see if I can figure this out with this thing. Ooh, long and short L. Okay. Well, the 8 of Cups is loss, is like, you know, walking away. This is the first time I had to, what is it called, decipher something, and I'm kind of digging it. I actually wanted to be an archaeologist when I wanted to be lots of things, but for a long, hot second, I wanted to be Indiana Jones before I knew what Lara Croft was, and I gave up, by the way. That's how much of a good archaeologist I would have made. I was freaking fascinated by ancient Egypt. It was actually the first pantheon that I was very obsessed with until I found the Greek one. And yeah, so I don't know if anybody else remembers the Where's Wally. They had like this magazine subscription thing, and he went all around the world, and it was like all the different ancient civilizations. I lived for those. But I like the fact that it's like, you know, I can have a look at this and try to decipher what it is. So that's probably P, oh God, E, Peel? That's a P though. P-E-E-S. I don't know how to read Egyptian hieroglyphic. Like, I am reading that right. P, E. I guess it's like peace, right? Do we do it with phonics, with the way it sounds? I think it's probably peace. If you're still with me, congratulations. This is the thing about it being like a real first impressions. I can't like fake it. Oh my gosh, that is embarrassing. Oh my gosh, oh funny. Oh well, no one said it was perfect. Yeah, so I think I was talking about the fact that I wanted to be Indiana Jones. I really did want to be Indiana Jones. Man, he was so freaking cool. Harrison Ford got some damn cool roles. He got like two of the most iconic, coolest people ever. There's Mars. And I'm back at looking at the pretty artwork. So the swords. So we have, you know, the 4. We have all the zodiac sign, the planetary signs. And the Gemini. So there's a lot in these cards, just like there's a lot in the Marseille, even though people don't. I mean, if you think I struggle with the Thoth, reading the Marseille is like well and truly over my head. I know that's very numerologically important, and but I don't know. I find it very hard to read. But from a fortune telling perspective or a divination perspective, very cool. Back to this, stunning. I mean, look at that. You can't fault this artwork. It's really, really quite beautiful. This version I would recommend for people who know on site what every one of the keywords are, or who likes a little mystery. What I have to say has got to be freaking cool about this, and it may be what the designer had in mind, is that, you know, when you have a readings where you have keywords on the cards and people like try to read their own reading, like clients, I have had that all the time. And you're like, oh my gosh, just because it says this doesn't mean in context. Like, just because there's a keyword on a card doesn't mean it means that literally, or if it's in context, it matters what's next to it, what you've asked, what the outside influences are and what I'm getting and all that. Like this is why I believe that tarot is like this massive art form. But they'll try to read it themselves, and I think that this is a really good way to get them to be like, they got no clue what it says, so they can't read it themselves. I also struggle, I have to admit, with cards that have keywords on the bottom. But this is different because it's the actual Thoth. Oh wow, so beautiful. And so here on the bottom here we have each one of those, right? So she's the Queen of Wands. Just to show you that you do get princess. Oh, that's so gorgeous. I love the court cards. What a surprise. You all know how much I love my court cards. Really beautiful. And another thing that's really great about how these are coloured in a very elemental Golden Dawnish way is that it's very easy for you to see if there's a dominant suit in play, if there's a dominant energy in play, there's a dominant house in play, like if you're looking at like the astrological signs of the court. It's a very quick way of being able to find that out. Doing a quick scan. Never understood why the Queen of Swords has a severed head in her images. I should probably like look that up, but I've always found that a little odd. I get it's like off with their head kind of thing, but I feel like there's more to it than that. Court of the Pentacles. And this has been separated, the court card. It actually took me a hot second because I've been rambling to figure out that this has actually been separated from the Ace to 10, which I actually, like the way I view the structure of the tarot, I see the court cards as a separate entity. I see the Ace to the 10 as a complete story, and then we have the court cards as a completely separate sort of structure. So I see the major arcana, minor arcana, and the court cards as the three pillars, if you wish, of the tarot. I'm just going to give this a nice shuffle. Now, I don't have the guidebook, so it's probably going to be absolutely useless. But there is a full guidebook, and when I say full guidebook, I mean like a full guidebook. It's on my bookshelf somewhere, but I was not. I don't have that in this pack. I mean, the box is exceptional. The presentation is stunning. I really do think this is quite the beauty. It's just taking me a very long time to get to unboxing it. Okay, one more. It shuffles so well. I love it. I can shuffle all day. The Chariot. That one I know well. So we have here as well, and we have the 4 faces down the bottom, again with the eagle, the Sphinx, the bull, and the winged lion, which again are connections to the fixed zodiac signs and also to different apostles. Willpower connected to the sign of Cancer, which you can see in the crab-like armor there, which is very freaking cool. This is a really beautiful, that wheel in the background, still got that, and the stars, so it's just stunning. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful deck. As I mentioned, I have all of M.M. Maline's work. I will put a link in the description box below where you can go and support this creator. And also, as always, thank you so much for watching.